Look, this whole Russell Brand situation, which has got you talking today, we're going to ask the question now, is should people be named publicly before being charged with a crime?
Well, this, of course, comes in the wake of all of the allegations that we've seen and heard over the weekend, which, as we've been saying all morning, Russell Brand is denying. But there are lots of people in the public eye who have faced a trial by media. Cliff Richard, for example, or indeed Paul Gambaccini, both investigated as part of Operation Newtree, but were not charged with any offence. Cliff Richard successfully later sued the BBC for a large sum over the whole handling of that.
We're going to get two stories now. People who are for or against being named. First of all, former Conservative Minister Harvey Proctor, who thinks you should withhold judgment, and the author and psychotherapist Madeleine Black, who says it's fair to name the accused even without charges. Good morning to you both. Madeleine, why do you say that? I mean, I know your story, but could you possibly recount your story and your opinion as to why people should be named?
Sure. Yep, so I am a survivor of rape. I was gang raped when I was 13. And I think every woman has the right to share their story if they want to, because I know what not sharing your story does to you. It really holds you back. And sadly, I think that the justice system lets so many survivors down. You know, we know that the conviction rates, as Mark was saying earlier, your guest previously, it's such a small percentage of prosecutions, cases will end in a prosecution. So I believe that this is maybe the only way that many survivors can get justice is by going onto a show like Dispatches and sharing their story.
Except, Harvey Proctor, when that goes wrong and people who are innocent get embroiled in horrendous witch hunts or trial by media, the likes of which we've seen, of course, with Cliff Richards and Paul Gambaccini.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, let me say that I was never a minister. I was a humble backbench member of Parliament for 8 years. With regard to the Russell Brand case, can I say that I always found Russell Brand and his alleged sense of humour detestable. However, he is entitled to be presumed innocent until found otherwise, certainly not judged in the court of public opinion. Now, in my own case, the police went to a news agency who were publishing stories by someone who made allegations which were completely false. As a result of that, and subsequently, my house was raided by 20 Metropolitan Police officers with illegal search warrants. And during the course of the search of my house, a police officer made contact with the person making the allegations, who they knew was in contact with the media. And before the police left, the media knew that my house was being raided. And the following morning, I woke up to find my face on BBC television.
Well, Harvey, there would be a lot of people, political enemies, people who just don't like the look of your face, who would like it to be otherwise. They would like you to suffer, and they would like you to be guilty, no matter what the law says. What were the consequences on your life through being named?
It is well known that I lost my job, my home, my repute. I received death threats. I felt for safety I had to leave the country for approximately 1 year. And the effects continue now in an emotional sense. So it is, in my case, never ending.
OK, well, let's get Madeleine Black's thoughts in all of this. I mean, if, as you say, the only hope for victims is a trial by media, what about those who get caught up wrongly, as we've heard here from Harvey Proctor and also in the cases that I mentioned earlier?
I guess in every situation there will be people that are falsely accused. I don't know too much about Harvey's case to be able to speak to it that much, but I still strongly believe that women survivors have the right to share their story. And already this morning we're hearing that courage is contagious, and even though these women were anonymous for fear of backlash, other women have now come forward to also share their experiences with Russell Brand. So I think it is important to allow people to share their stories if they want to, because it will change their life so much. Because I know what being raped did to my life. It impacted on me. The effects lasted for decades. And it's taken me many, many years to show my face and to speak publicly. But I know many people can't share their face and speak publicly because of the shame that is riddled in society and the backlash and the victim blaming. You know, we're already seeing how divisive this situation currently is. And it's not for me to say he's innocent or he's guilty, but I do believe the women that came forward on dispatches, because believe me, you wouldn't want to make this up.
I mean, that's a point, isn't it, in all of this, Harvey? You know, we need to listen to victims. And why would somebody make something up? Obviously, perhaps politics is different. But in cases around these big showbiz superstars that have all this power, this imbalance of power with often these younger people, why would these young women be making things up?
I'm sorry to hear the story that we've just heard. In my case, I think the simple answer was money. But of course, this will change from story to story, from person to person. I have no criticism of ladies who think and know that they have been raped coming forward to share their story. I think it's the actions thereafter. I think the media, particularly the Times, the Sunday Times and Channel 4, are at fault for not saying in their programme and not acting upon it that they have put the file of evidence to the police. It took the police to go to the media. That was wrong. Now, what I would say in the Brand case, as I said in my own, if there are any genuine victims, in inverted commas, complainants, who have suffered at the hands of Mr. Brandt, or indeed anybody else, they should go to the police immediately.
OK. Harvey Proctor, Madeleine Black, we've got to leave it there. Thank you both for recounting your stories and letting us debate whether the accused should be named or not before convicted in a court of law. Thank you very much indeed.